This month on Health and Information, we're going to explore the benefits of chiropractic care. We're going to talk about the chiropractic subluxation. We're going to talk about how I go about finding the subluxation when a patient comes in for the first time and how we develop a treatment plan. The second half of our show, we're going to have a discussion about the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, and we have an expert with us on the Second Amendment who will help us to have a good understanding of what it really means and kind of break through some of the misconceptions that are rampant among the media now. So join us, July's program, Health and Information. Hello and welcome to Health and Information for July of 2014. I'm Dr. James Bissland. On today's program, the first thing we're going to talk about in the first half is going to be a discussion of basically what we do chiropractic-wise. And I'm going to talk to you about a few events coming up here in the clinic over the next, the rest of the year of 2014. The second half of the program, we're going to have a discussion with a gentleman who has some opinions on gun rights, the Second Amendment, open carry, concealed carry, permitting, and so forth. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that the second half of the program. The first thing I wanted to talk to you today about is to give you an understanding of what it is that I do every day here in the office. When I see somebody for their first visit, we sit down, of course, we do the history. We talk to them, find out exactly what it is that is their complaint, what the symptoms are, what their concerns are, and we go into a palpation evaluation. Now, palpation is seeing with the fingers, and that's a real good explanation for what I do, is by sitting there and feeling the spine. After almost 30 years of practice and the education before that, I have been really blessed with the ability to see the spine with my fingers. And so that's part of the first thing that I'm going to do. I'm looking for a subluxation. All the exams that we do in the office, whether it be the preliminary exam with the palpation, whether it's the diagnostic exams with the contour analysis, the nerve graph, the posture analysis, the measurement of front to back lean, the nerve graph, or getting even deeper into the rehabilitation and the neuromuscular reeducation evaluations. All of these are to help me determine one thing, and that is primarily, does the patient have a chiropractic problem? Now, when I say do they have a chiropractic problem, I really am looking for a spinal subluxation. And I want to go through and list for you and explain to you how we determine the subluxation. Now, when we look at the spine is a set of bones stacked one on top of the other. Down through the center of the spine runs the spinal cord. Now, those of you that were with us for any of our special consultations, you've heard this information before, but I wanted to get it to maybe a little wider or broader group of people. As those bones become misaligned, that's the first component of a subluxation. We have a misalignment of the vertebra. And at that point, the spine usually becomes locked or fixated, kind of like a door does when it's out of alignment. You try to shut the door, and it either won't latch or it won't shut at all because part of the door is rubbing against the door frame. It's out of alignment, and that's what the spine does. It gets out of alignment. The second component is that it must be putting pressure on a nerve. Now, when we're looking at a nerve, when we're looking at a pinched nerve, if you will, the The pressure that the spine puts on the nerve, the bone, and the soft tissue that's in the opening puts pressure on the spinal nerve. It takes the pressure of the weight of a nickel to reduce the function of a nerve by 50%. Now, if we look at, let's say, our lights here in the building here, if we supplied only 50% of the energy that these lights need to run, then they're going to be dim and dull. They're not going to function normally. The bulbs are going to wear out. They're going to burn out more rapidly than normal. Or let's suppose that we only supplied 50% of the energy that is needed to run our air conditioner. We're going to be warm in the summer, or if our heater, we're going to be cold in the winter. So we have to have full nerve energy. The third component of the subluxation is it must cause a malfunction. Now, there are pinched nerves that are less than the weight of the nickel that don't cause a lot of malfunction. So if we have a pinched nerve, a misalignment that's causing the pinched nerve, that's causing the malfunction of the nerve, we have the spinal subluxation. Now, subluxation is defined as a misalignment that's less than a dislocation. So it's not dislocated, it's just out of alignment and out of position. And so when we find those, we then look at the nerve, we look at the area of the spine that nerve is coming out of, and we trace that nerve to what area of the body it controls, whether it's external in muscle, joint, tendon, ligament, or whether it's internal to the organs, the muscles, deep muscles, the lungs or heart or spleen, stomach. All the organs in your body are controlled by nerves. All your muscles are controlled by nerves. So if you have a muscle problem, you have a nerve problem. If you have an organ problem, you have a nerve problem. So this is our job, is to be able to find the subluxations, find out what they're doing to you and how long they've been there. Those are the general things that I do from the time then that I've seen you or patient for the first time versus when they come back for their report of findings. I sit down, go over all the exams, I go over all the x-ray pictures that we've taken, and I look at those and combine them into the whole picture, which then helps me determine, based upon those facts, exactly what kind of a treatment plan I need to make to get those corrected. It's the philosophy, the science, and the art all combined together that help me make that determination. In order to make that determination, I have to have all the information, the past history, the exam findings, the x-ray findings, my palpation findings. One of the most important things for you to do is to tell us everything that you can about your condition, how it started. So when you fill out the paperwork or the computer, whether you do it at home on your phone or your iPad or at one of our kiosks here in the office, be as thorough as you can. And the same thing goes when you come in for your continued visits and do your kiosk. Tell us everything there is. Is it better or worse today? Is it the same? The more and more I know, the better job I can do. We're going to take a break in just a minute, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the gun control laws, all in the media now, as well as the Second Amendment. We'll be right back.
An accident can turn your life upside down. Immediately, you may face problems like who will treat your injuries? How will your car get fixed? What are you going to drive in the meantime? You need solutions now. At Benedict Law Office, the care you deserve can begin at your own home. No office visit is necessary, and you pay no fee if there's no recovery.
At Benedict Law Office, there are no problems, only solutions.
Call Benedict Law Office for your free consultation today.
Are you in pain? Then meet the doctor. Neck pain, headaches? Meet the doctor. Low back and leg pain? Meet the doctor. Arm, shoulder, and hand pain? Carpal tunnel syndrome? Meet the doctor. Injured in an auto accident? Meet Dr. James Bissland at Bissland Chiropractic, where you can get your first visit free this month. Call Bissland Chiropractic at 838-4252. Bissland Chiropractic.
Where were you when the lights went out? Who did you call and when you gave them a shout? Did they pick up the phone? Did you get a machine? Or some front office drone? You know what I mean. You wanna talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about. So call Marie now. Electricians with a mission will get you connected. We're Murray Electric.
Hi, this is Larry Murray with Murray Electric. We appreciate your business and we don't take you for granted. While nobody likes to have electrical problems, we want you to know that we will be here for you when you do need an electrician. And remember, you don't get phone shuffle when you call Murray Electric, because we have a real live electrician that answers the telephone. Remember, if you're in a hurry, call Murray, 918-835-9605. 918-835-9605.
We'll get you connected. We're Murray Electric.
Welcome back to Health and Information. This is July 2014. I'm Dr. James Bissland. This afternoon or this evening, we're going to have a guest with us on the program who runs a class for the concealed carry permit here in the state of Oklahoma. And of all the people I know, he's probably the number one expert on guns and arms, ammunition, and the law according to how those are all regulated and controlled. So I would like to introduce you to Bob Long. Bob, welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So you teach a concealed carry course for the state of Oklahoma?
Yes, I do. I teach that course at my place in Bristow, Oklahoma. It's called the Freedom Ranch Pistol Academy. It's 3 miles south of Bristow.
Okay, tell us a little bit about how you got into the teaching, where you got certified, how you got certified.
Okay, well that's a great question. First, I'm a veteran of the United States Army, and I was exposed to all different types of weapons and firing systems in the Army, and I really enjoyed that. Of course, I grew up, like most people here in Oklahoma, with a father that did a lot of hunting and shooting and things like that. So that it was just a second nature. My dad was my first pistol instructor. And then when I went to the United States Shooting Academy, I learned all the things that he taught me were all wrong. But, well, they weren't wrong, but it's like everything else. There's better ways to do things. So something that you learned maybe 30 years ago on how to hold a gun has been improved, vastly improved, and how your stance, that's been improved. And what I like to do is I like to teach the latest cutting edge techniques that are out there today. I received, like I said, at the United States Shooting Academy here in Tulsa, I received my training, pistol training, tactical training, marksmanship training. And then I went to the next step with a man by the name of Richard, I think his first name's Richard Roach, in Stillwater, Oklahoma, who certified me as an NRA pistol instructor. And from there, we bought the land and we developed it, and I have a nice little pistol range down there. And to date, I've trained a little bit more than 500 people.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Now, you'd asked me something about open carry versus concealed carry.
Right, that was my next
Okay.
thing. What's the difference in Oklahoma between who can open carry and what you have to do for concealed carry, and what the differences are?
Every state's a little different, okay? Every state can set their own laws regarding that. Oklahoma has what's called licensed open carry, which means if you have gone through the class, you've gone through the background check, you've paid your dues, and they grant you a concealed carry, which means you can carry the gun with no one else knowing that it's on your body or on your person. That's concealed carry. If you have that license, you can also open carry if you choose. Now in Oklahoma, you can only open carry the pistol or revolver or Derringer, who would want to shoot one of those. But anyway, you can only carry that type of firearm in accordance with the Self-Defense Act. You cannot, like in Texas, carry long rifles, shotguns, or anything like that, which has been hitting the news lately.
It has been. Okay, so basically, if you want to open carry, you have to have a concealed carry permit.
Right, that's correct.
in
Right
the state
now,
of Oklahoma.
in the state of Oklahoma, Arizona has constitutional open carry, which means anyone over a certain age can carry in that state with or without a license.
Open or concealed?
Either way.
Either way.
Either
Okay.
way. In Arizona.
Okay.
But that's not that in Oklahoma. You to carry it on your person. You when you're out and about, like here in the studio, you definitely have to have a concealed carry license.
Okay. So somebody wants to get a concealed carry permit. What's the first step they go through to get that?
The first step that they have to do is they have to find and take a class, okay? That's the first step. There's over 300 instructors in the state of Oklahoma. I'm one of 300. I charge $30 for my classes. I do not believe that a person should have to pay to get their constitutional rights. Other instructors were capped at $60 for this class, but that cap was lifted about 2 years ago so instructors could charge anything they want. And I have heard that this class can now go from anywhere from $60 up to $150. And I'm still at $30, and I will plan on staying that way.
Okay, so they take the class,
Yes.
then what?
After they take the class, I give them a certificate of achievement or certificate of completion from CLEAT. And that tells, with that, that's their key to the kingdom. They can complete the application online at the OSBI website. Then it'll spit them out a little thing saying that they've done that, print it off. And then they take it to the sheriff's office in the county in which they live, and that's getting ready to change too, I think, in the next year or so. And then they can make application at the sheriff's office. It's $100 for a 5-year license. The sheriff's office can charge, I think, up to $25 for fingerprinting and the mugshot for your concealed carry license.
Okay, so once you have that, that's it then?
Once you've completed that, it's usually about 90 days for OSBI to do an in-depth background check on you, because in Oklahoma, if you have a concealed carry license, you are a good guy. It tells you that if you have a felony, forget it. If you have a drug conviction, forget it. If you're a sexual offender, forget it, okay? It rules out a lot of people, and OSBI is very good at what they're doing. And that's why, per 100,000 nationwide, you have like 1.5 people out of 100,000 who lose their license because they committed crime. I'm telling you, if you have a concealed carry license, you're a law-abiding good guy, yes.
Okay. Now, we've heard a lot of things about, they want to tighten the reins, especially coming out of Washington. They want to tighten the reins on guns, make you register your guns. If you have a gun in your house, a
Yes.
pistol or a shotgun or your beloved Derringer, you have that in your house, does it have to be registered in Oklahoma?
No, there is absolutely no registration in Oklahoma whatsoever. Oklahoma will register the person. I'm registered by my social security number with OSBI to carry a gun, but they don't know what type of gun I have. They don't know the serial number, the make, the model, the caliber, anything like that.
And there's nothing that requires them to have that?
No, absolutely not. Because registration is always the first step to later confiscation. And we saw that in World War II, and I'm afraid that we're going to repeat it now. Matter of fact, we're seeing it in Connecticut right now, because they've just turned 100,000 law-abiding citizens into felons because they didn't register their big, black, ugly rifles, is what we call them, by a deadline.
Okay. Now, if you have a concealed carry permit now.
Yep.
If you went in and you were going to buy yourself a new pistol, what do you have to do now that you got that? You still have to go through the
You
waiting
have to
period?
go through everything. There is no waiting period in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Okay. The only time you would get into a waiting period is if you fill out the paperwork that the FFL has you fill out. Okay. and they call it into the NICS system. If NICS says that there's a problem with the background, or they're going to have to do a little bit more in-depth background check, such as if your name is John Smith and your social security number is really close to about 15 other John Smiths and 2 of them are felons, they're going to wait, say, okay, we're going to delay this for 3 days until we can make sure that he's good. But most of the time, if you don't have anything like that in your background, you go in, you go through the paperwork, you walk out of the store 15, 20 minutes later with the gun that you want.
Even, so there's no difference whether you have the concealed carry or not for that?
It used to be long back in the early 1990s, but not anymore.
Not anymore, okay.
You still have to jump through all the hoops.
Okay. Now, I remember at one time you had mentioned that, we as a country have the Second Amendment, which guarantees us the right to bear arms.
Correct, it does.
Would you give us, in layman terms, if possible,
yeah, sure.
Kind of a description of what the Second Amendment gives us the rights?
Sure, I'll be glad to. Matter of fact, your cameraman was very gracious to give me this book here called The Foundations of Legal Environment of Business, and it does have the Constitution in the back of it, the articles and the amendments. So I wanted to make sure that I read it word for word right. I mean, that would be the worst thing. I misquoted the Second Amendment, would not be well. Okay, here I go. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. A lot of people say that that's two different thoughts, but it's not. They say that one of those commas separates the two thoughts, and it doesn't. What throws them is the word militia. They don't understand the word militia. If you look, and the rest of the Constitution's not here, but it's in Title 10 of the Constitution. It defines the makeup of what the militia is. And the militia basically involves all able-bodied males from the age of 17 up to, off the top of my head, it's like 45 right now, who can serve in the military. Well, I got news. That's a lot of people. And if you're prior service like I am, I'm in the militia, even though I'm out of the Army. Okay, I've served my time. I'm nice and fat. I'm still in the militia until I'm age 68. Now that's the federal militia, and that's in Title 10 of the U.S. Code of the Constitution. In Oklahoma, it's covered under Title 44. Oklahoma also has a militia. It's divided into the National Guard, the State Guard, and the the rest of us. Basically, I'm going blank on the name of what I'm trying to say here. It doesn't matter. It'll come to me in a second. Unregulated, I guess. Not unregulated, but
The general population.
the general population, right. The organized and unorganized. We are the unorganized. So it falls into the branches. The militia for Oklahoma would be, I feel like I'm doing my orals for a PhD in history right now. The unorganized, which is everybody who's not already in the National Guard or the
Reserves?
Reserves, correct.
Okay.
All right. So
I gotcha.
So and in that, even if you are in the unorganized, you're in it until age 69. That's Title 44 of the Oklahoma Constitution. Sorry about that. I'm trying to watch the clock and make sure I don't run out of time.
No, we're doing good.
Okay, good.
We're doing well. So let's talk a little bit about crime statistics.
Okay.
I noticed that there's a lot of times you'll go into a restaurant or a business where they have a no guns allowed sign.
Sure.
Now, I assume that you, even as a concealed carry permit, you can't carry in those places that are marked that way.
Well, it's because it's a private entity, a private property, and I'm going to respect the owner's rights. Okay. If the owner has an irrational fear of guns, then he's going to put up a no gun sign. That is magical thinking, because I want to, and I'm going to talk to every store owner out there right now. If you think that a no gun sign is going to keep a person out that wants to maybe go kill their ex-spouse, or to go in and rob you because they are desperate and they need a fix for whatever drug they are on, or if they just need food, they're going to come in, they're going to rob you. And if you don't comply, they're probably going to kill you. And even if you do comply, there's a good chance they're going to kill you because they don't want to get caught. So, and they're not going to care about that no guns allowed sign. That's magical thinking. I would much rather, like I said before, alluded to, nationwide per 100,000 is like 1.6 out of 1.5 like that people have a criminal commit some type of crime to lose their license. And of that 1.5 persons out of 100,000, most of the time it involves alcohol. In other words, they go out after work, they have a couple of beers, they come out, they're driving impaired, they're carrying a gun, and they get arrested. And Oklahoma has a zero tolerance for alcohol and firearms, which I think is fine. Other states don't have that tolerance. But anyway, I kind of get off. There's 50 states, and I got 15 minutes, so I can't do everything.
You can't do it all, no.
Can't do it all.
So, you'd made a statement that I had read that the crime rate goes up the tougher gun laws are.
Yes, exactly right. And we can look at the toughest cities. Not the toughest cities, but the cities with the toughest gun laws in America today. That would be city of Chicago, the state of New York City, state of New York, the state of California. The crime rate in those areas are higher per capita than the crime rate in Oklahoma or the crime rate in Texas. And if you want to get into big cities, Dallas or Houston or San Antonio. I mean, those are big cities and the crime rate's lower.
Okay.
Much lower.
All right, on the screen, we're going to put the contact information for anybody who would like to get more information from you.
Sounds good.
It's got the address and your telephone number.
Has my website?
It has your website.
Great. Fantastic.
And that way, anybody who's got any more questions will be able to contact you. And
Absolutely.
get
Sure.
information. We can't cover it all in
No.
a short time
No.
that we have to cover it.
And I appreciate you giving me this opportunity.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to be with us.
All right. Fantastic.
Thank you. Okay, as we get ready to close down on the program, I want to go over a couple things that all of you need to be aware of from our clinic standpoint. Each month, we are going to celebrate everybody who has a birthday during the month. We have a special birthday. It's going to be on a Tuesday. If it's your birthday and we have your records, you're going to get a birthday invitation. We also have our special consultation once a month on Thursday nights. And what we do is go through a lot of the things that I went through with you in the first half of the program today and be able to give you a better understanding. We have an interactive PowerPoint presentation that was very well written by one of the greatest chiropractors that I know. So if you would like to attend one of those, please call the office. Our contact information is also on the screen now, so you'll be able to see it and talk to one of my staff, and they'll let you know the next one is scheduled and how you can become a part of it. I want to thank you all for your attention today, and thank you for joining us, and I hope that the information that we presented tonight was helpful and gave you some good information. Till next month, I'm Dr. James Bissland. Have a great, happy, and healthy month.